the previous episode, fall was spreading its magic over the land of the wolf. For beavers, the time has come to stock up on branches for the winter. Bull moose and rut have other priorities. All of them dream of amorous conquests, duels, and adventures. September will be, for Como and me, the theater of extraordinary sightings. The outlet of Surprise Lake has served as a spawning ground for brook trout for centuries. This young red fox would make use of its fishing skills if it were not for so many distractions. The fox does not threaten beavers, but a small rodent like this least chipmunk should be on its guard. Unfortunately for the fox, the fish keep out of reach. The activities of the fox and the beavers will soon be disrupted by the arrival of a giant in search of a mate. The king of Surprise Lake is renowned for his bad temper. It is better not to stand in his way in the fall. Convinced that the noises of branches and splashes made by beavers are those of a congener, the moose displays his power to charm a female or intimidate an opponent. Such a monarch is much too proud to admit he was wrong. This becomes embarrassing for the beavers. his calls remaining unanswered, and seeing no moose, the troubled king risks getting angry. Will the contagious good nature of the beavers be enough to calm the moose? The moose finally admits his mistake. In the fall, the mateless bull moose has no time to waste with beavers, a fox, or even a wolf. After an annoyance, he courageously resumes his quest, guided by his highly developed sense of smell and hearing. Some dominant males concentrate their activities in a rutting zone where females gather, while others travel great distances in an attempt to mate. The Muskoge's region served as a travel corridor, so encounters between Como and the lords with impressive antlers were inevitable. To observe such interactions, we had to spend hours in the vehicle every day, and in the long run, this immobility became exhausting. Sometimes, to relax, I went on an adventure on foot, hoping to meet other kinds of animals. This half-devoured hare tells me that a Canada lynx is nearby. Observing this wildcat is far from easy. It is likely it has already spotted me and is following me on the sly. Lynx are curious. They like to see everything without being seen. When I finally meet the lynx's gaze, the encounter barely lasts a few seconds. Fall is an excellent season for wildlife viewing. Wolves are less nocturnal, and for them, hunting is generally better than in summer, since beavers have to spend more time on the ground to cut down trees and store food for winter. There are also rutting bull moose that sometimes get seriously injured in a fight. Pups born in the spring often accompany the adults into the territory. The movements of a pack then become unpredictable, with the following consequence for us. In 2008, as the season progressed, we had to be even more patient to see a wolf. Como came less often to rest in the muskigs region. He stopped there both in the afternoon and early morning. In fact, we had to be on the lookout almost constantly so as not to miss him. But the effort was worth it. For more than 1 month, Como has been marking the muskigs region with his droppings. He knows almost all the inhabited beaver lodges on the Manatus territory. This morning the wolf seems relaxed, and we hope he will take a break on one of his favorite lookout mounds. Como is still interested in birds, and not just in the smaller ones like this winter wren. While I admired Como so relaxed and comfortable in his own skin, I was nostalgic thinking that we probably had little time left in his company, at least for this year. Deep down inside, I was trying to get used to the idea that we would soon be leaving our camp to go back to what is called civilization. It was difficult for Monique, Reynald and me to separate ourselves from wolves after having lived with them for several months. They had showered us with so many marvelous observations, especially Como. On the other hand, objectively, the results of the season remain nuanced because in spite of much research, we still didn't know where the Manatus rendezvous site was. Yet it was a key element to learn more about this pack. The scenes of family life we had shot in 2002 at the Burnt Hills Pack's rendezvous site remained unequaled. Babalu and his siblings are playing under the indifferent gaze of a few adults, including a male we named Burton. Without the vast open spaces of this rendezvous site, it would be difficult to film such interactions between the wolves. After this period of play, the less fearful young wolves, like Pat and Busby, relax near our vehicle. Chinook the Black keeps his distance, unlike his brother Babalu, who wants to watch everything that happens in the dunes and on the plateau. A group of horned larks landed near the wolves to feed. The hungry migrators fight over food, which intrigues the young wolves. The day ends with the surprise appearance of the mother wolf, the great Abby. What a magnificent queen. Observation of the Burnt Hills Pack at its rendezvous site had allowed us to draw up an accurate portrait of this wolf family, to know how many members there were, including the young ones born in the spring. Concerning the Manitus Pack, this kind of information remained incomplete, even if we had witnessed extraordinary scenes with some of its members. Discovering the secrets of these ghosts bit by bit was part of the quest. There was even a certain happiness in waiting. Then one day, when we least expected it, a sign of fate encouraged us. This morning, Como is not alone. A young wolf about 5 months old learns from Jimmy how to flush out a hare by following its scent. Como is content to be an onlooker. However, Jimmy takes his role as a mentor seriously. I have the feeling that we are disturbing them, probably because of the presence of the young whose 2 friends are responsible for security. Finally, Como prefers to withdraw. Jimmy also. This observation was encouraging, but it also showed us the prudence of the manatis when it comes to protecting the most vulnerable in the pack. Jimmy and Como's trust in us had its limits. Given the circumstances, we figured that even if we had access to the family rendezvous site, it would take a miracle for us to be allowed to observe the pups. The dreaded moment arrived, that of farewells and departure. We were able to admire Como for the last time at the beginning of October. Then we never saw this marvelous wolf again. The following year, Jimmy and Bigfoot were also missing. In truth, the 2009 wolf watching season was a big disappointment for us. In April, we glimpsed White Paws in the company of a wolf we mistakenly thought was Alto. After that, the manatis once again became ghosts, elusive spirits who left very few traces of their presence in the territory. Impossible for us to see them, to believe that they had vanished. It was disheartening. Against all odds, this lost year was followed in 2010 by a great advance in our knowledge of the manatis pack. We discovered that White Paws had become an alpha female, the mother of a new generation of wolves. Thanks to her, we had the chance to observe her family for several years. This new chapter in the history of the manatis will be presented to you in the next episodes. Many characters to discover or find again. Many new adventures to share. A story to follow in the land of the wolf.
Then again, my